Oh, wow.
my goodness.
But they empty it after every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
See my video up yet?
there it goes.
Okay. You got a picture.
I'm glad that's you and not me.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with public comments. There are no guests here tonight. So is there any public comment? Probably none with no guests. Any correspondence, Jessica?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to reports. We'll start with the open class and superintendents. Missy.
Okay, so we did have a superintendent meeting on the 2nd of March here at 4:45, and Jessica was there and I was there. And I thought it went fairly well. It went a little longer than we wanted, but anyway, we had a lot of stuff to talk about. So we got everything explained to him about, it's kind of be like we had planned it last year, and except for the theme is Saddle Up for Fun. So we had a bunch of really good ideas for decorating, and then we talked about the fundraiser that we'd like to do, and they're all on board for helping with the fundraiser. They actually got really excited about it and started talking about, well, let's do it like a picnic. Let's have a movie. Let's have vendors. Let's have cakewalk. Let's have a slideshow. They're like, well, let's keep people meandering and visiting down there if we can. And basically maybe talk to Rotary and see if they did want to combine it with a movie. Have a movie night too if people want to stay and watch a movie. So honestly I haven't gotten back to Adam 6 on that yet. And then we also were wondering do you think the FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athlete kids, NHS kids, or the Jen's kids, Interact Club.
Oh.
If any of those kids who need community service or whatever would help set up Monday, if they're not already involved, we were thinking about contacting them for
we used
help.
The Interact kids last time, and then we've used the Christian.
That's what I thought, right?
We've used them before.
Yeah.
We'd have to look. I think we made a donation to their club.
Okay.
I say that carefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think they were looking for...
Not to the Interact kids, but I think to those...
To the Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
I think something in my memory bank is saying...
Huh.
And I may be all wet.
And if some of them wanted to come and help Jen with some of those STEM activities, I wouldn't have a problem with donating to their...
kids.
Even if it's $50, it helps them out.
Well, in NHS, a lot of times those kids need hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was thinking,
so if
too.
you let them know before school got out, and then
Right.
maybe Laura could remind them.
Mm-hmm. And who is NHS now? Do you
Laura.
remember? Laura Ashman?
Mhm.
Okay.
But there's usually kids there that don't have their hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of an idea we had, because, we always do 2 or 3 kids is great helping on Monday night, too. It makes a big difference. So then we talked about the entertainment that we, and would they help that night to Wednesday if we needed them, and they were good about that. And also we talked about the sponsors list, and they were good about that too. We just have to finish what we're doing and get it to them so they can start asking for donations or whatever you want to call it, sponsorship. So that, yes, they said that they would help do that like we had talked about before. Here's a question, Karen, maybe you can answer. Do the kids the FFA kids still have their greenhouse at school? And they're still doing stuff, and they're going to sell plants, is that correct? Okay. So, are any of those kids interested in entering that stuff in the fair? Is there any way that we could let them, like in the open class, enter some of the stuff they've grown in there?
I don't know.
Do you think
We
that,
can put it out there and see.
you know, even though they're kind of doing it as a fundraiser, why couldn't they enter some things? Just, our garden section needs some help, you know? And I'm gonna assume you see her before I do, but if you think of it, will you ask her
Yeah.
to ask the kids if they're, or, you know, maybe that's motivated some of them to grow stuff at home. You know, that they could enter in the fair also.
Right.
Some of them might not have even thought about the idea of entering things into open class
Exactly.
as well as the
Mhm.
4-H and FFA.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, so just, that was just kind of a thought
And we
there.
could, well, we could remind 4-H too, because there was a time when they really couldn't, like there was more restrictions,
Yeah,
but we could just remind them that they can do, I mean,
Well-
it can't be the same item, but if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had 2 plants, you could.
put
you
one
could-
on one side and one on the other.
Or if you
Yeah.
had gardening items, I mean.
Right, yeah, if they got,
So,
Who, can I ask, who is the superintendent for that section?
okay, I'll tell you, so Desiree Taves is like quilting and sewing, kind of thing. And then Charity Krebs is photography. Fine Arts is Jen Ollinger. Crafts is Julie Swanson. Culinary Arts, which is the food, is Lynette Dyke. That's a new one. And then Marilyn, when Ruth Layton did not want to do
Resigned.
it again. Yeah, she resigned. Then Marilyn said she would really like to go into horticulture because that's her thing. That's
Sure,
really
sure.
her thing. And she goes, and I just wondered if I could have an assistant. And I said, oh, is that Dawn Reynolds? And she said, yeah. And I said, we'd love to have her because she's asked me to be involved in it too. So,
Oh, good.
so kind of Marilyn and Dawn are doing the horticulture, and then Karen does agronomy and livestock.
Right.
So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just was thinking as you were talking, that in the past, we had talked about maybe those superintendents writing an article to put in the paper, and so maybe, I would think Marilyn would write a wonderful article.
Yeah, they were supposed to do that last year. I mean,
Right. Yeah,
that's
and
when
then
we kind of
everything
got
fell
that,
apart.
yeah, re-going
Yeah,
again.
yeah. And
And-
so I just was wondering about that as you were talking, if we could
Mhm.
maybe rectify that, or not rectify it, but bring it back this year with the hopes that we are really going to have a fair.
Yeah.
And
That,
that might spark some interest within the community. Oh, yeah, I didn't
I
think
know,
about
and-
that.
and we need to start with those articles now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think we're 99% sure it's gonna happen.
Right,
Then we can get, yeah, and I'll get them going on that. Some of them had them written.
yeah.
In fact, a couple of them got in.
I think a couple more in the.
Yeah, I think
paper
Julie's
before-
got in and, yeah.
With the hopes that it would.
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Anything else?
We did talk about, I told them that we're always looking for local talent too to go under the tent. And they said that the new little dance thing is starting up, Jess. And Jess knew something about that.
Yeah, I kind of thought once we knew more of our entertainment schedule, I could take maybe a couple time slots to choose from or something to her to see what would be best for her to fit into.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a lot of ideas actually that I had never thought of. So it was a good thing to discuss with the superintendent.
Yeah, Jess probably took better notes than I did. But, so we're gonna have another meeting on April 6th in here at 4:45. And hopefully we'll have that sponsorship letter and stuff ready so we can give them,
We were
know.
hoping to have it ready next week for them to come pick up
right?
and start delivering.
Okay. Yeah, because we did talk about that, didn't we?
Mhm.
Them to come get it on the 15th.
Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah. So hopefully we'll have all our work done by then.
Yep.
And And if they start getting their articles in April, maybe that should be all right. I'll do something. I mean, we could just do a general one to start out, you know, on, okay, we are having a fair. I mean, I think we probably should
Yeah.
get it out there and say, this is the theme, this is the plan, you know. If you have any ideas or want to help, give us a call.
Right.
So, that's what I know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, vendors, of course, Valerie Hornsveld has resigned her position, so do you have anything there, Jessica? You'll kind of be in charge for
She
now?
all of her documents over. She gave me a big box of stuff. So we have things. I've kind of talked to a couple people who thought maybe they were interested. But I don't know, I guess the first step is for them to kind of write a letter of interest, and it goes to the planning board, Nicole. She's out of the office this week. I tried emailing her to see if there's been anybody, but she's out of the office until Monday. So I'll check next Monday to see if there's been anybody contact her with interest.
Okay.
Okay, and then I had somebody else interested also. So I just need to talk to her and tell her to write a letter to the planning board. Is that,
I believe that's the first step, right?
Yep,
Okay.
And then if
it
there's
is.
multiple people interested, do we?
Okay.
The-
gonna-
Well, if we know who they are, if the planning board lets us know
Mhm.
who they are, then we can make the recommendation that we'd like to see this person on our board,
Okay,
type of deal,
okay.
to the commissioners. So, otherwise, the commissioners will just pick, which is their job.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got a month or so before we need to send out vendor letters anyway, so I think we'd be okay, right?
Well.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're cutting it pretty close, I'd say.
yeah, I mean, if we had them out by the end of April, we'd be all right.
okay.
The food ones are the big ones that you need
Yeah.
to nail now,
Right.
because everybody's starting to make plans for their fair and rodeo.
Mhm, for
Um,
sure.
And I was able to get the two vendors that were out at the 4-H fair last year. That was Rockstar Barbecue and Mining City Mud was the coffee one.
Oh,
And so Cassie gave me phone numbers for them.
Okay,
So
well, good.
we have information for them to get a hold of them.
I almost wonder if maybe we should each take a couple of vendors for at least the food, get that thing. Because, I mean, you got families that are out there the whole darn week. And if we got the food nailed down, and then that's not quite so overwhelming for a new board member coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
I was gonna, since you have all of that information, would you mind just shooting a letter out to the ones that we know,
well,
Jessica?
most of them, Val had switched over to all electronic anyhow, so it would be a matter of.
But not those two.
Right.
Yeah.
But, so the majority of them though would be,
Everything's, there's Excel spreadsheets in there. So do you send a letter out to all of the vendors listed, and then the first 9 to get back to us would be, and payment would be the ones that got the spots? Is that how it goes?
As long as they were aware of that's what you did, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that they're different.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
when I did it, because I used to have that position, and I mean, I never doubled up, like if we had somebody that was doing Mexican food, then I never went after another Mexican food one.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that there was a wide variety of
Okay.
choices, I guess. And then, once we had all of that food taken care of, which was my focus first, then I would worry about all of the others. You know, I sent all the letters all at the same time, but I pushed the food stuff
Okay.
first.
I can work on that in the next
And then-
week or so at least.
Okay,
So I have to
Thank you.
think, I don't know if I have a map here.
I have a map, so I found this in Val's stuff.
Yeah,
And she had written, and with a note to Josie, because there's the 6 spots, and then there's 2 extra this way, and then 1 over here, so there's 9. And so I remade a map that shows 9 spots to send out with the letters.
Okay.
yeah. I just think we're probably better,
Mhm.
that's my opinion.
Okay.
And I
We
think
should
with,
go
with
after
the food vendors,
stuff.
for sure, you need to tell them that they will have to provide their own generator.
Yeah. And Val had changed that, I think, the last time.
So you should have that letter,
I
right,
have a
Jess?
copy of
Yeah.
the letter somewhere, yeah.
Because we just don't have the upgrades to electricity to make it work for,
And the fee is $50.
I thought we'd increase that.
We did increase.
That is an
to that.
increase, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
was 40.
And then all
Okay.
here, it says new, all food concessionaires must have a generator big enough to run electricity for their booth until further notice. Electricity will not be provided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And setup times and stuff are still the same as they've always been. No, you can start setting up your booth on Thursday at 1 PM. Has to be set up by Friday.
Gosh, I almost,
I
why,
almost think that you want a couple of vendors there on Wednesday night unless.
oh, because of the
Concert.
concert.
Because the reservation form says user agrees to be on site Friday at noon until Sunday at 5,
Right.
unless other arrangements have been made. And then in the
Which is
letter, it
creepy.
says that they can set up on Thursday if they'd like.
But you know, we open the doors at 3 on Thursday for the public, right? And then they have their kids rodeo going on. So why do we do that? Why don't we?
Well, let me look at the schedule. It was a headache. That's why we
Right, trying to
changed
get
that
them set up and-
time-wise.
In front of
Because I was
everything else
inside
that's
the
going on.
building
Yeah.
trying to help, and we're
Right,
still doing indoor exhibits.
right.
And then
That's
I
on
was-
Wednesday.
Pardon me.
On
Well, you guys
Wednesday,
do them on
right?
Tuesday, right, Karen?
We do them Tuesday night.
4-H is gonna be doing them Tuesday. We do them Wednesday.
Right.
But and Thursday on the schedule, it says commercial vendor setup is at 1 on Thursday.
I guess, I wonder if we could just put something in there that says we are looking for a couple vendors for Wednesday evening. Or
We're
during our
planning a
concert.
this year, and so.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
because maybe they would just do a
Even if
one-day
they-
deal. Who knows?
If they came after 3, we would be, I mean, we'd have just judges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
we, you know,
So
Yeah.
we
we
would
could-
be,
So
What if we said they can come in and set up by 3 o'clock Wednesday?
Or 4.
they can set up maybe between 3 and 4 or something,
Yeah.
or then you've got kind of a shorter,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or 3 to 5
To
or
mess
something.
with, right?
For the
Yeah, if you said, I would almost say 3 to 5, just because trying to get some of those guys parked and
Mhm.
it would take more than 1 or 2 of us, I think.
Mm.
You know, at least that's been my experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
John, did the rodeo say anything about selling beer on Wednesday at the concert?
It wasn't really brought up,
Okay,
to be honest
all
with
right,
you. I gotta talk to Win about that.
okay. Well, you should talk to Robert, because he's in charge of that part.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, anything else for vendors right now?
Scary.
Okay, all right. Go on to Rodeo's social media, Lisa.
Oh, you're the one that attended the last rodeo board meeting, and so, I don't,
Yeah, Rodeo is just planning on, they're getting ready to move forward with Rodeo as planned for this year, and they, Jason Noyes with the Livestock Committee had planned on going to the meeting, but he wasn't able to, but he texted Wynn and asked if there'd be a possibility to set up a committee, a joint committee between rodeo, fair, and 4-H livestock to discuss the fair and rodeo logistics, basically fair rodeo logistics, to see whether it's beneficial to maybe separate possibly the 4-H fair and/or fair and rodeo, or keeping it combined. What's the logistics, things like that. So Wynn and Vince are going to represent the rodeo club, and of course myself. I guess we can talk about that now. I'd be on that committee, and then I just need one other person from the fair board to be on that.
Well, I would like to, simply because I do all the scheduling out there, if nobody else wants to.
Okay.
That's why I've got things scheduled right now.
Right.
And
And
that wouldn't be for this year.
right.
It would be for,
For future.
For the future,
Yeah,
no.
no, we
Yeah.
got to
Oh, I
work
was
things
thinking,
out to,
holy
yeah.
smokes,
Yeah,
we're
no.
starting to leaf
No.
through here.
No, we gotta work through it this year, but
Okay,
it's just a conversation. It's nothing
Sure,
more
sure.
than a conversation on that, and so,
yeah, I would be willing to sit on that if no one else wanted to.
yeah. Okay. And I know, just the discussion at the meeting, our community's growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and there's potential to be an awful lot of people out at the fair and rodeo this year, and so we're gonna have to work out some, really fine tune some details on how we're gonna put people in, space-wise, how we're gonna make it all work, so we have a successful event this
Mhm.
year.
Mhm. Well, and I think people are ready to
Yeah, they want to get out and do stuff. Yeah,
socialize and
sure.
Yeah.
do those things.
Yeah, so that's pretty much,
And
The-
I would be willing to go on there too if you think
okay,
that you need, because I guess I'm kind of,
Kind of wearing a couple of different
between
hats.
4-H.
right. And I think that would be
And-
good for you, Jessica, since you're fair manager and everything,
Okay.
to be on that. You'd be the tiebreaker.
I'm scared before you're even gone. Did they set up a time for that yet?
No,
No,
I mean,
okay,
it's just
it's in the future.
It's in the works, and just to, like I said, we want to be able to start the conversation and work through this year and see how it goes and things of that nature, and so,
Okay.
and go from there. And the rodeo club, they've pretty much, last year they had all their belt buckles and everything, prizes set and ready to go, and all they have to do is change the year on belt buckles, and Montana Silversmiths does that for nothing. And
Oh,
so,
that's nice.
yeah, they're, I guess,
We were pretty lucky that way.
yeah, Montana Silversmiths, I guess they'll do almost anything. Once you buy a buckle from them, they'll repair it for nothing and
Buy
things like
earrings.
that. Yeah,
I've sent earrings back.
Have you?
And a watch, and had them fixed, and didn't cost me a dime.
so anyway, that's where they're at
Okay.
on that. Okay. And then how, as far as scheduling, do we have some stuff scheduled, Lisa?
I'm starting to get kind of busy, actually.
Okay,
Short-term kinds of things, and of course, a lot of 4-H things.
mhm,
We have the shop clinic and the DMV out there today. I have some mounted shooters next weekend, or this weekend. I've got a wedding next month. Couple different 4-H things. We've got a shop clinic out there again where they're gonna use the 4-H building. Cattlewomen are gonna use the 4-H youth kitchen for Conservation Day.
mhm.
For what day?
Conservation.
Oh,
Day
conservation,
for
yeah.
Sister
Okay,
Rivers.
so set up with that.
Yeah.
What day is
Yeah.
that?
We do, I've got 3 weekends in June lined up. I've got every weekend the month of July was lined up.
What day is that conservation, Missy Oust?
Oh, I'm sorry, 22nd?
Of April,
Yes.
yeah.
And I've got 3 weekends in August already lined up. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get any mowing or watering done. Guess it'll be real busy Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah, so things are starting to get busy, yeah.
So do we still have a weekend to do our fundraiser?
Well, what we had talked about was doing maybe in conjunction with the Chamber's ATV ride. And I did contact I thought she was still the secretary. I had contacted Deb and she said no, that she was not, but she would contact someone else that was. And I hadn't heard back from her, so I found out who the name was and contacted that person. And she said, I am new enough, I'm not really sure if they, because I wanted to know if they had already like a dinner or activities associated with that.
yeah, who is that? Lisa.
Laura Simonich
Oh,
and I think Lauren something Simonich anyway. And she said they have a meeting next week and she would find out and get back to me. But I thought that that's what we had talked about with maybe doing it that weekend.
Which one?
If not, I do have the week 25th and 26th of June open.
so, and the ATV is the week before, is that?
ATV is the week of the 12th,
Okay,
and then there's a roundup open the week of the 5th.
okay, what about the week of the,
19th
19th.
it's an Omoxy.
oh, okay,
And so it would be a pretty good size event too. And we don't really know a lot about that stuff.
yeah,
And I know in the past we had talked about, the possibility of doing a feed during maybe around a program because you would have that built-in group of people that stay there overnight. So,
okay. So we are starting to get some 4-H rental stuff going on.
a few
4-H
rentals,
building.
a lot of freebies.
Right, okay. How did you do with the shot clinic? What did we end up doing there?
I'll forward you a copy of that
Okay.
invoice too. I did not talk to the county, I talked to the hospital and the person that I was dealing with there. I said, we're kind of in the same boat as everybody else, but we're still having to pay our bills. I said, how about we cut that price in half?
Okay,
And she was more than okay with that, so
okay,
I did submit a bill to her already
Okay.
for $75 a
Okay.
day
okay, good,
for a total of $150.
yeah,
And she was gonna turn it into the,
okay, all right.
accounts payable.
Yeah, thanks for negotiating or whatever and
Yeah.
working with them.
Well,
That's-
and then Brittany, the DES coordinator, was helping them today, and I talked to her today, and then Chuck talked to her yesterday. And he was checking the tank, and she said, oh, it's 80-some% or something like that, and he said, no, that's your tank. We're running on the other one.
Yeah,
And so she was going to actually look and see if maybe she could come up with a little bit of funding to help them pay for some of that,
okay,
use of propane.
okay,
But we were at 30% yesterday.
I thought, was it 30 or 20?
I thought he said 30, but
Okay, I thought he told me 20 yesterday, or this morning when I called.
Either way.
you
Yeah.
have better hearing than I do.
Yeah.
I don't. It's my husband.
I know it, selective, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right, cool.
Because I did say to it was right around there anyway.
Yeah,
Because I said, okay, I've got a wedding that is coming up in April they're gonna have it for a couple of days. And so we may need to put some in there.
right.
I also was contacted earlier this week by Montana Livestock Credit
Okay.
about the possibility of doing an event out there in May. And right now, that's just a possibility.
Mhm.
So she was just checking some things out, and so that would be another
Okay.
paying customer.
Right, right.
Um,
Okay.
But the paying customers are pretty thin
Yeah,
for the 4-H building right
Imagine
now.
that.
yeah, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But at least it's getting some use.
it is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Okay. All right. Great, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, 4-H, Karen.
We finalized our fair book and finalized our schedule and
All right,
getting ready for fair.
all right,
Moving
cool.
forward.
All right, that's good to hear. Okay, we'll move on to Fair Board business. Are there, the minutes are the first thing. Any corrections or additions to the minutes that Jessica submitted? I'm sure we all took a lot of time to read those when she emailed them to us. I did not see any corrections or additions. I'll let you know that, Jessica.
I move that we accept the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Okay. You have a chance to read through everything, Lisa? Okay. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. All right, and then financial and budget and CIP funds. What do you have, Jess?
Okay, so I just gave you guys the line item expenses. I didn't know if that's easier for you to read than this thing.
Yep, yep, it is,
If
it
you want a
is.
copy of this one, I'll give you one.
Yep,
No, this looks
I could take that
way
one,
better.
but this is dummy it down for us and it helps.
So I did go in and talk to accounting office about trying to move those premiums from the 210 and the 220 into 740 that we had moved the budget to.
Mhm.
I don't think it wasn't done the last time I ran a report, but I'll keep checking on that. And then I guess if you just kind of look down there, so, some of these things, apparently we're gonna get some money back for some of these extra expenses due to COVID. And so I don't know how that all happens. I'm sure the county will just kind of give us because they, when we put the claims in, we write COVID, and so I don't know, they keep track of what was the COVID expenses.
Okay,
So I think that we're doing pretty good as far as budgeting goes. Especially, some things look over in some instances because the budget was in a different section, like 360 repairs and maintenance, the Kelly Connect copier contract service that we are we're splitting with the extension office because we're gonna use the copier for the fair book.
mhm.
That one came out at 360 and it was budgeted down in 398 printer extension.
Oh, okay.
And so, that makes 360 look a lot better when you
Yeah.
take that $94 out. And so, and then in the 398, the contract services, the hand washing stations, were actually billed to that one when they're, looks like they're budgeted up in 220.
Okay.
So, you know, that's,
Okay.
and then, awards and indemnities. So like I said, the premium, what we paid out last year was $956. But it was taken out of 210 and 220, so that should be moved into 740 at some point. And then Karen and I went through and did a big order for ribbons and rosettes. And we ordered enough to get us through this year and next year. So it did go over by $100, our budgeted amount, but we won't have to order in 2022, so.
Okay.
It also saves some too, because every time we change anything on the ribbon, they do a typeset, and that's costing more than the ribbons.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we're,
wow.
we're better off to just try and bulk, and that way,
Sure.
you know, and we pared down the ribbons so that we change the center, but we don't change the typing hardly I mean, if at all, except for the showmanship and the market, so that hopefully it cuts on the cost, and which it has. I mean, it's, but
Okay, good.
Yeah, and we got our order in time to use a 10% coupon.
All right, yep.
And then the CIP funds, and I had this before last meeting and I forgot to bring it up to you, so I had asked Michelle about them from any extra money we had from last year's budget. And so she said the cash reserves were only at 28%. They don't automatically move it into CIP unless it's like over 33%, so we
Right.
weren't quite there, so they didn't move it into the CIP.
Okay,
Our CIP does have a balance of, I don't have that one, like 5,000 or 6,000, but that's from a hail damage insurance claim. So that's what's in our CIP right now, it's just
Okay.
that money.
yeah. Because we got that, and then we did the repairs on the 4-H building, and we were actually came under budget, so we didn't have to use it all.
Okay,
And so and I requested that, or made the request to see if we could keep it in the CIP fund, and the commissioners approved that.
okay, yep, so that's what the CIP
Okay,
is at, so.
okay.
Why is our phone so expensive?
Well, you know, remember Josie was checking into that
Yeah.
before she left.
She did cancel the one that was out at the fairgrounds,
Yeah.
the phone at the fairgrounds, there was a special line out there. And I just noticed from reading previous minutes.
Okay,
And she did get that canceled, so we're not getting charged for that. So we were getting charged for the 9251. It
Okay.
rings in to the same phone as my extension phone number. And so, you know, a few people call that number. Like, I know you call that number all the time.
yep,
And I can see, because it says forwarded from 9251 on the screen when it rings in. And so, and that was, you know, at the beginning of the year when I was changing over and getting all the DIS stuff changed into my name. You know, they did ask that question if we thought we needed our own line, the 9251, or if all the air calls can be coming into the 9242, which is the extension number. So that's something we can think about. And
Oh my word, it's so expensive. I mean, on the Facebook page, we can put the extension number, can't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could
Why
do
are we
that.
doing that?
Well, maybe because originally the positions were two different people and they were in separate
Oh.
offices.
Right.
Right,
Where now that position is a joint
right.
position. I wonder if we could do away with that.
And I don't know if that's something we can do at any point in time.
Well, I don't know why not, it's just,
Yeah, and it would just, I guess, take changing the directory in anywhere that the 9251 number
is no longer in
shows
service.
up. Yeah,
Please dial 9242.
yeah, I don't know if they can do like a forwarding type service for like a certain amount of time. And I didn't know, you know, getting closer to fair, if the 9251 number is going out on all of the vendor letters and stuff, if, you know, more people will be calling that one. So I don't know if it's something we want to change the information right now on all the letters, or wait and I feel like if we don't do it like right now, then we need to at least wait until like,
After
After
fair.
fair.
yeah.
Yeah,
But if we do change it on the letters, we could,
We
Yeah,
could change it on the
because that's
letters,
the one they would,
and
yeah.
they would have it to the, you know.
I said we save money.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I mean, it's a joint position now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste to have two separate numbers.
And I think, I can double check with Allison and too, and I think she was the one that asked about it when we were getting everything set up. So like, same with the email, do we need the fair@co.broadwater.mt.us? Or can we change, like, one to say, because I have an extension one that I check and a fair one that I check every day. And so usually when I'm just doing fair business, I send everything from that fair address
Mhm. That's probably better though, to separate that.
to separate emails.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
yeah.
So,
It's just cleaner, I guess.
yeah, I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
it kind of lets you keep things separated somewhat too, so.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would definitely make it easier
Yeah,
to keep
yeah.
the email.
Yeah, it's
separate.
that,
So-
I think the email's good, but.
So, do you have to, I can't even remember how you answer the phone, Jessica. Do you have to say extension and fair?
So right
Or-
now, well, when I see the number transferring in, I probably should say like Broadwater County Fair Office. I just haven't.
Mm-hmm, okay,
I know every time I'm like, oh, MSU extension Broadwater County. And
yeah,
then I just don't, it doesn't click in time, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I just wonder if, you know, when you answer the phone, people wanna talk about fair, whether they would get confused and hang up on us, or just what, I don't know.
yeah. Cause that's what I said.
I'll be the devil's advocate here, but,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know, but I don't have a problem with getting rid of the phone number either, but I'm just trying to figure out how people would know that it's extension and
So
fair.
for 5 months out of the year, we want Jessica to say.
Yeah, I don't, I
MSU
mean,
extension and road and fair
fair if you need it.
fair manager or something.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean,
Yeah,
just so
the-
people
I know
don't
what you're
get
saying, yeah.
discouraged when they call, when they wanna ask about fair,
Yeah. That-
non-4-H side of it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look into it, see,
I can see what Allison thinks if we were to
Yeah.
do that, what she would
yeah,
feel like we need to
okay.
change the greeting.
Yeah, because we don't want, we have to, I know there's certain things as far as extension, you have to say, and so I wanna make sure that we're not
Infringing upon.
infringing upon those copyrights and everything, and, but yeah, let's look into it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, next thing, we have talked a little bit about the vendor supervisor position on the fair board. It's open for a 3-year term. I know I've made a contact with one, with Gayla Sealer. I asked if she was interested, and she says, let me think about it, but I'm not sure. So that's where we're at there. I know Missy's talked to a couple people.
I haven't, well, actually, my daughter Samantha's been helping me because I said that we needed some new blood and some young blood. And I didn't know some of the new young blood
Yeah.
or wasn't aware of some of the things. Anyway, so she gave me, and I did check on that, her name's Jessie. Jessie and Jasper Etchelman or something like that. And it's my nephew Tell's classmate, so it was bizarre. But anyway, she's pretty busy in the summer, so she was going to turn it. She said, I can't do it. So then Charcy Shear is somewhat interested, and so is Kelly Folkford, which I think would both be very good. Kelly has experience in event planning, and then her dad owns
Montana marketing.
Montana Marketing. She grew up
You know.
in that field there too.
Yeah.
And she is wanting to get involved in some community stuff, and same with Charcy. Charcy just wants to know more about it, type thing. So I'll see what I can do. I'll try to get them both to submit a letter. And also I was kind of thinking like with Charcy being so young, I was thinking that maybe I would just ask her to be one of the helpers this year at the fair and see what it's all about. But we need somebody. We can't not go without another board member.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had a couple more names too, but those are the ones that kind of.
So I guess anybody that we've talked to that have kind of been a little interested, just let them know to, you know, if they're serious about it, try to get a letter to Nicole. And then, if she gets letters, do you guys just want me to forward them on to you right away?
Sure.
Because this is something, I guess, do we have to wait until our next meeting to talk and discuss it before we make our recommendation, or do the letters just go to the commissioners as soon as any of them come in?
I think if we get, this is my personal opinion, and what we should do is we get those letters, then we could respond back to you, Jessica, say, hey, I think I would be in favor of this person over this person or whatever, and then the majority, you send an email to the commissioner saying we would, out of all these, we would like to see this person appointed.
I mean,
Or this is our recommendation.
Or
for
first
appointment.
choice, second choice.
I've
Or
seen
Yeah.
on the website where, you know, all the county board positions are listed that are open, and they just say like open until filled.
Right.
And so it's kind of first come, first serve. If somebody brings in a letter and then we don't get another letter for a week,
Right.
we may be
Right.
recommending that person does it just because it's kind of getting to be
Right,
time
right,
sensitive.
you bet.
You know,
Yeah.
if this happened in September, you might be able to wait a little longer.
Right.
Yep,
Right.
yep, that's for sure.
Okay,
Okay,
I just wanted to kind of know what to tell
sure,
people.
okay. Okay. We'll move on to old business, Fairgrounds Improvement Project.
As in the master plan, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
I think that's what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay, well, no one's jumping on that right now.
Were you guys able to bring it up during rodeo? Did they?
Right now, Rodeo said that any type of improvements that they would like to do, they would want to do on their own, using their own funds,
Okay.
without any help from anyone else at this point in time. I know Wynn made the comment, he said it would be nice to have completely covered grandstands, but he says it can wait if we need to for a quote rainy day. Since it hails and rains every fair.
Right.
On that, but yeah, I know we've kind of discussed, you know, trying to improve the, I guess, the bathrooms and the septic system out there, and I don't know, it's to me it's kind of an undaunting task to try to
Yeah.
figure out how to get that all done, and the funds and everything. I don't know, it's a nice plan, but it's a lot of money to get a lot of things done. And I don't know what else, Karen, Missy, Lisa?
Oh, I'm in agreement. I mean, it's kind of an overwhelming, I mean, if I knew that there was money sitting there that we could tap into, maybe I wouldn't be quite so nervous about that, but.
Because our next step would be, Sarah said, to write like a proposal to the commissioners, right? And then they would look into it and have their engineering firm, grant writers look at things, but they kind of need like a plan to get things rolling.
Okay.
But the rodeo has the lease on the grounds, so I don't know how that affects, like if we said, okay, we want to work on that septic system, we don't have any money, but we have to come up with some in-kind or matching money and we have no way to do it. So
Mhm.
we feel like we're just tied, you know?
And we want to make sure that since the rodeo club does have the lease on the fairgrounds, that they are in agreement with anything that we do. I mean, that's first
And
and
they're
foremost.
not right now. Like, they're not willing to take time to write grants or raise money right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of table the master plan
Yeah,
for a while until we can.
yeah, maybe see what happens this year with fair and rodeo, and then work on it again, maybe. And
I mean, I know they keep telling us they have money, but they don't understand that it's a little harder than they think to.
But you don't, Jessica, you don't necessarily have to go to, or do a grant writing yourself then.
So Daryl was saying that the engineering firm at the county has, what do we call it? No. As needed, that they can use, have grant writers that work for them. That are
Are they on kind of
good
like a
and do all the
retainer
time.
kind of thing?
Okay,
Something like that, yeah. It's like it's the firm that they use for, I think, all of their things whenever they need somebody to come in and do something.
Mhm.
okay. And
And that's how I understood it.
right, and whether or not we do look at the waste upgrade, bathroom upgrade first, or whether we look at something to help with livestock and 4-H and that first, and then look at just pumping septic tanks every day during fair and rodeos so that they don't overflow. I mean, for a year, that's what we got, maybe that's what we need to do,
Okay.
so,
Oh, we're gonna have to.
yeah.
You don't want to have a big problem.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, fundraiser, we were talking about a steak fry.
But we were talking about that too, and we're thinking, why make it so difficult? You know, and but getting people to sit out there and eat would be good too. Like we said, because then maybe, you know, one of the 4-H clubs would want to have the cakewalk. And we don't know, Karen, we were just throwing it out. Or one of the other clubs would want to have games that they charged kids to play while they were having a picnic type thing. So, I mean, do we really have to do a steak fry? I mean, why can't we barbecue a whole beef or a whole hog and have picnic style food that's easier to eat outside? You know, like getting a steak and trying to cut it on that paper plate, that's disgusting, but that's just me being a snob. But
You could keep your price point less. I mean, it
Yeah,
might
that's what
draw
I'm
more
saying.
people.
you know, if you had this, you know, beans and potato salad and barbecued pork sandwich and some kind of dessert or something,
And
people would come pay $10 for that.
if you were still in COVID times, you could put that in something.
And if they
and
wanted it to
send
go,
it where the other,
it'd be a lot
that's probably
easier.
what you're going to have to do. You're probably.
Oh, yeah,
it's-
there'd be an
you know, It's
auction.
going to be a,
Mhm.
welcome
Yeah,
to
we
the
could do
window
like
and
a
take it.
Sit down indoor event where everybody's sitting at tables and they're eating with, you know, metal forks and knives, and a steak fry I think would be great, but when it's gonna be something to pick up and for them to eat, you know, while
Yeah.
they're sitting.
Pick up and go or
outside.
stay and sit outside.
Just sit
and-
outside and they
Yeah.
can social distance, but you
Yeah.
just got, I mean, I think it's, I mean, I think you'd get more families if you,
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, because I mean, not a lot of people buy a, you know, $25 steak for their 10-year-old kid,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
But
no.
they will go buy a $10 plate sandwich, potato salad, beans, cookie or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere for less than $10 a plate.
Right.
McDonald's
Yeah.
barely, I think.
Not even there.
So we were thinking maybe tune down the I don't know about, it's called tune down, but just make it a little more simple.
Dummy it down,
I didn't really mean
simple
that.
it down,
Yeah.
make it simpler.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea, especially if there's gonna be some other activities going on out there that people might wanna walk over and grab something.
Yeah. We know how dirty the ATV people get, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, but honestly, if we're gonna do this, we need to decide, and we need to like start getting advertisement out. So that's what we need to do. We need to decide, and decide what date, and if we're just gonna pick that date and do it, then that's, I mean, so who's doing the ATV? It's Chamber, you said?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And that is June 12th. You have roundup roping June 5th and 6th. ATV is June 12th. And I don't think that the 19th, because I don't know how big of an event that Moxie is. I would be leery that we would maybe not have enough space and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Plus with horse trailers in and out.
Yeah. And then there is nothing scheduled out there the 26th and 27th.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think coordinating it with something else is probably better. Because we know there'd be people around,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Whereas that last weekend in June is actually really close to 4th of July, and a lot of people take a whole week off then, you know. But, I don't know, I mean, I think we're just gonna have to try it and see what happens. I don't think there's never a guarantee, you know.
For the ATV ride, they're not using the 4-H building, or?
Well, right now they've got everything scheduled out there. But
Oh, they are using the 4-H building?
they don't have the forage building, they've got the rope and barn and all of the parking everywhere.
Mm.
And then she was gonna check and see
Is
this
that
week.
is that where they're starting?
That's their
Yeah, so there'll be
staging
lots of
area.
trucks and trailers.
Yeah.
Some people come in and they trailer their.
And I think the last time they
ATV
did
there
it was
and then the-
pretty large, that's why they wanted to move it out there. I don't know where they parked last time, but she said it would, when Deb contacted me originally, she said wherever it was that they parked, they didn't have enough room because there were so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they parked in that area where the coffee cup is.
Oh, did they?
And
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I
I
don't
think
know.
some of the trailers parked out at Ford and then came in,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the check-in point was Betsy. After, it was when the bar was closed, I think, but they still went into the Betsy for the check-in point, and so like they're all up and down Main Street
Sure,
while they were
sure.
checking in.
Which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when they start, do they also finish there?
Probably.
Well, they would have to come back at the very least and get their pickup and trailer,
Right.
so.
And turn in their poker hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hmm. So it might be a little bit harder to do a picnic type theme rather than a just drive up and go. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there's gonna be a lot of trucks and trailers and
Yeah.
ATVs coming.
And some people won't come out and do, you know, if they see all that going on, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
However, I mean, if you did it in conjunction with the roping, we could open that west parking lot so that anybody that was not associated with the roping, they could come in and be you'd have that separation, parking and things like that. If it was community people that just wanted to come in and join in the dinner or whatever. It might be more manageable that way.
And what weekend was that?
That's that first weekend in
Oh,
June.
yeah, that's a bad weekend for us.
Yeah.
We can't, I mean, John and I wouldn't be able to help.
We have a nephew graduating from high school in Helena.
Oh, yeah. And then if you're looking at July, I know we had talked about wanting to do it in June, but if you did it in July, the first 2 weekends are roundup ropings. But that first weekend is 4th of July weekend.
And the second one's Jenna's wedding.
Oh, gosh,
Sure.
yeah.
June 26th.
Yeah, we might have to go that last Saturday in June.
Fix and just plan it as a kind of a standalone
Yeah, it's just
event.
our
I
standalone
mean, who
thing.
knows if maybe somebody will want the arena for something at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah.
too.
Well, like I said, we
So is a Friday night better? I mean, are people around Friday before they pick up for like Saturday? Or is
Yeah.
Saturday,
It might be good, but if I was cooking a pig, I don't know whether I could do it on a Friday.
Mhm.
If you guys want me to cook.
No. You can get it all.
I could probably finagle it. I could work 4 10s that week or something.
I might know somebody who could help you.
Yeah. Yeah, that someone just texted me and said he didn't have his glasses on when he read that, but it's 30%.
Well, I think, I mean, if somebody else wanted to come in and do something, it would be kind of neat if we had music, but you could, that's getting kind of wild, isn't it? But I guess, what's to keep them there to sit and visit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do they want to come out and just eat and sit and visit, or do we need to have something else to pull them out there? I guess. That's why I kind of think, the whole just drive up and get your stuff and go is kind of nice because then they can go do what they want and they don't have to worry about food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could go do whatever they want Friday night, or if you did it Saturday or whatever, and then they'd have their food ready and they could go do what they want. Whereas, trying to drag, and then like if they're down there, then you have cleanup and setup and
and a bigger plan?
and we don't have a lot of time right now. I mean,
Right.
It just seems like we're trying to shove too much stuff into a little bit of time.
Well, the other thing, we have to think about too is we're gonna have to run all this through Sean
Right, which where a
and
pickup,
see what he
might
has to
go.
say. Pardon me?
where a pickup, a drive up is more likely to fly than,
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I want to try this. I told you we did it at church for Valentine's. It was awesome. Like I can't even tell you guys how
Great it was to just
smooth it was.
deliver.
Yeah, it was just, and you know what? Nobody complained about it. They were just like, that was great. Our food was still hot when we got home, and it was great. But we presented it really nice. But this I wouldn't. If you kept it at like a barbecue beef or pork sandwich or whatever, and more of a picnic thing. Granted, you'd want to, yeah. I can't even explain to you guys how easy it was. It was crazy.
Yeah. Maybe,
You know.
maybe we do just keep it simple this year since we're getting closer to time
Mhm.
and it's kind of the first one that we're attempting.
I think so. I think so, Karen. I think you and I are on the same wavelength here. I just, as much as I would love all the entertainment and have everybody
I
have
think
a,
it's too
it's
soon.
just, yeah.
To try and push
I
all
think
that.
there's a lot of
think
people that are still on the, would really like to support you, but I don't want to be around that many people.
So I think Karen and Missy will be on that committee to finalize that.
So then the 25th Friday or the 26th? Because if we're doing more of a just come and grab it and go Friday night.
Then I'd pick Friday
It's
night
feasible.
too.
I would too.
Yeah.
Because if we're in there and we have things ready for people to start picking up, from
Mm-hmm.
4:30
to
on or
8 or 7:30 or, yeah.
And I mean, like seriously, like if the superintendents helped, which, because they won't be working at school. Jen doesn't do it during the summer, does she? Ollinger? Does she do preschool in the
But she
summer?
might be able to.
She does a couple of camps, but.
Yeah. It just, it's so easy to get it organized. And
So are you thinking like 3 to 8, 3 to, or do you have a time?
probably 4 to 7 would 4 to
Funny.
7?
Until food runs out.
Yeah, yeah, well, and that probably should say that on there. too.
Yeah.
Should we sell tickets ahead of time as well?
I don't think, well. No. No, I think we just need to advertise.
Could you
And
ask for an
I think-
RSVP?
Yeah,
mean,
I
at
think
least
if
you'd
somebody
get a
really
handout.
wanted to call and say, could I get 10 dinners reserved? Then we're like, absolutely, pick them up at 6 o'clock. And give me your name, number, and pick them up at 6 o'clock. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess, or like actually sell them tickets, like.
If you sold tickets, you'd at least have an idea
Of how many are coming,
of for food. I mean, are you going to have 100 or are you going to have 400?
Yeah.
Or,
And you could do like a,
And
You
you
buy it ahead of time,
have
it's
some
X
money in
amount.
hand.
right.
yeah, and like, drive up still welcome, like walk-in welcome, but,
Right. Walk-ins welcome to, as long as the food lasts, but
yeah.
Okay, but is there any way we could just do it over, like, rather than sell a ticket, can we just get a reservation over online? I mean, is there any way to just say, call this number for, to reserve your dinner? And then you'll have to pay for it when you get there, and it'll have to be cash only, cash or check, because you can't run a, debit card. So they'd have to know that.
Unless anybody has Venmo.
Venmo. God, there's a lot of people that do. Always asking me that on my cakes and
because
stuff.
it works really easy.
Yeah, I know, but it scares me because Maggie told me a couple things about it, and I'm like, I don't think people need to know that. Okay, I'm dying. I can't breathe in here.
Okay, so you two want to work on this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Karen, do you think you can handle this?
Okay.
It might be
And-
okay just to have, no advance selling or RSVPing, just making sure that we have a lot of
We're gonna have to do
advertisements
that.
and we're making sure that people know about it.
Yeah. We could put it on the website.
We can put it on the website and on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
The other thing we could do is we could create some sort of a flyer that goes home with all of our elementary kids. I could ask Eric if that was okay. We've done that in the past where we've sent something.
It's just that, like, it's a month away from after school's out, so are they gonna remember?
I realize that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if we made that flyer bright and colorful, and then we put an ad in the paper, or we
Oh, yeah,
run an
we'd have
ad
to.
on the local I don't know how many people listen to that local radio, but maybe have it on the bank and on the marquee down at the commercial. Do some of those kinds of things. You know, maybe make a big poster and put it up at the head of Main. You know, when we,
Oh, yeah, I
When
think
we
you'd want a
do,
sandwich board up there the day of.
but if we maybe, we could take one of our big sandwich boards and put a post up there with it so that it won't tip over in the wind or
Right.
anything.
Right.
And have some big colorful poster that is announcing it, maybe even the week before. And say, hey, mark this on your calendar kind of thing.
Okay.
And I don't know, do we have that kind of capability to make those kinds of big posters? Or do we still have to contact, like, we have had
The Forest
Forest
Service.
Service do it.
Yeah, so the copier here will do 11 by 17, but not color.
But we could put it on colored paper, some ones that we put around town. But yeah,
Get Kelly Fulford on the fair board.
I
and
know.
She can help you with that too.
Right?
Okay. And then I guess, Jess, if you want to help Missy and Karen with that too.
Sure.
On that. Yeah. Since you're fair manager.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Okay. All right. We'll move on to 2021 fair and entertainment, concert, vendors, etc. Any updates?
okay, I got a hold of Sarah Hamburg, and Sarah Jane and Company will play on Saturday. I got a commitment from her. Her brother Nick would not commit, and his was the Straw Hat Riots. So we'll definitely have 3 of them at $150 apiece. And they will be coming from Missoula, and I said, she said they'd really appreciate it if they could play on Saturday, and I said I think they can make that work, so Sarah's in. And I haven't gotten a hold of Ty Steele yet. I keep thinking I'm gonna catch him at church, and I don't,
For the DJ.
for the DJ. And then, that's all the further I went on music.
The superintendent had some ideas. Scout Lindsay, she was a high
Oh,
schooler,
yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
And so I was kind of waiting for the
Yeah.
Nick, because I know I had that down as a possibility for Friday. But if he doesn't want to do something on Friday, maybe we can ask her. She's performed at a few different places.
Hmm.
She's been in Helena and performed even at some of the stuff in there, yeah.
And so maybe we can offer her a spot like on Friday, do you think? Or
Absolutely. We'd be crazy not to.
I had, oh yeah, remember we were talking about last time the Eric Holder and Company? I don't know if we wanted to bring in somebody like that for Friday. That was, one that was going to be a little bit more, I guess, costly.
And who is that, Jess?
Remember last time we
She
talked
sent a
about?
link.
Yeah, he contacted us. He's like going to MSU.
Oh, right,
They
right,
put
right.
together bands.
My personal opinion, I think we should let him wait and get some more experience.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my.
And he's not local, we don't know him, so we might want to hold off
Okay.
on that. Spending our money.
There was another one. I don't know, might just be in my email. They were pretty fun. It was in the fair book, the RMAF
Mhm.
book with entertainers.
Mhm.
And I contacted them. And they were pretty good, but they are of course more expensive. And then we were still thinking for a wind show for the concert, right? Okay.
These people that you contacted, are they more like for a concert type deal on Wednesday, or no, or just entertainment?
I think like a entertainment.
Okay.
But I listened to their thing and I thought it was pretty good. But, you know, I think they're a little bit bigger than, like they have the advertisements in that fair guide, and their costs definitely coincide with being a little bit more known.
It's like $2,000 cost for one day for 2 hours.
And I thought I printed it out, but apparently I didn't.
Well, and if that little dancer group gets going, you know, you put them in on Saturday morning or under the tent or.
So they're called Bad Larry. You said they're free on August 6th and 7th. My bunch of emails just loaded, it kicked me off. His name is Jay Aiken.
And what kind of music is it,
And
Jess?
they're from like Kalispell. Kind of a country and folk, and it's a group of two. I could probably pull them up on the laptop if you guys wanted to listen to some of their things.
And what did they charge?
Okay, let's see. We could play your fare for $1,800. Bring their own sound and lights for no extra charge if they want us to. And I asked live music for a few hours during our county fair. We're looking for someone for 2 hours on either Friday, August 6th, or Saturday, August 7th. So that would be for 2 hours is $1,800.
Yeah, there's a couple of fifth grade girls that are pretty good little fiddlers that they might think about doing too.
Yeah, and then the superintendent also said something about like the speech and drama kids, maybe having them do like a demo of some
That's a good
little
idea.
skits or whatever. You know,
That's a
because
great
they're,
idea.
you know, 2-time state champions.
Right.
So.
I think we could tap into some local talent. I mean, it
Yeah.
would save
Yeah.
us some money, and
Yeah, I would like to conserve some money, I think,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, we can't afford the
And tap
1,800.
into that local talent and let them be seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I did, so the green
But like those
paper-
people there might be something we could look at for next year, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, definitely,
badly,
yeah.
so-
Yeah, yeah.
So they're kind of comical and
Mhm.
acoustic, and they're from Flathead Valley.
Okay.
So the green paper, if you guys want to look at that real quick. So I did have a couple of questions. So that one I was kind of just putting just the entertainment for the hours for under the tent. On the left is what was happening last year, and then on the right is what I just knew for sure was hopefully happening this year. So first of all, I had a question. Friday, 12 to, do we go up until 7 when the rodeo starts? So do we, like, would we want somebody to
We
do
can.
something?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't on Friday.
Okay, and then Saturday, same thing. Do we start at 11? Or do we start at noon?
No, I say we get people down there.
So
'Cause I mean,
11,
the exhibit's
Oh,
open
Get
at
in there for
9.
lunch.
11 to 7 still for trying to fill the time under the tent there.
Yeah, we're pretty careful
I would
about the
say about the-
sale time.
Yeah,
Okay, so that, I think that was what, 3?
well,
So is the
sales
sale
at
gonna start
4.
earlier than
So it
4?
starts at 4. So like block out 4 to
Used to be.
6.
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or basically 4 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so there's, some open slots, and so, like, if Scout would want to come, maybe, like, Friday night, like, if we asked her to go from, like, 5 to 7 on Friday, or do we have anybody else lined up for that?
And would she be able to sing that long? I don't,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if she
Hold on,
can
let me
sing
look
that
at that.
long. I guess
Probably an
I
hour.
would think an hour.
like 6 to 7?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or what if we put her, like, at 5 to 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
draw
I
more
mean, if this
people.
is
You know,
possible.
I think you want to, I don't think we want to go right up to 7 on anything under the 10th, especially if people want to go to the rodeo, because
But they're gonna
The-
wanna
They're
go
gonna
get
be
they want to go
a
in
beverage
early.
and then sit down. and-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so till 6, and then, so same with Friday, it's gonna be, well, we won't have anything in there after 4 on Saturday because of the sale.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and so then, like, the little dance group, we can see if they wanted to come.
Like Saturday morning, 11. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
and then I can talk to Mrs. Buckin at the high school and see if she thinks, like, any of the kids would be around and if they would wanna do something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe on Friday, early afternoon.
Hmm. I mean, you never know, they might put a little comedy skit routine up or something.
Yeah, if we say, could you guys fill like an hour slot?
Hmm. I mean,
Or even a couple of different slots.
yeah.
we could
You know,
even do,
because I
like,
mean, she's got a lot of kids that she's
Yeah,
dealing
there are
with,
quite a
and
few.
so,
maybe they could do something on Friday and on
Mhm.
Saturday.
yeah.
And then what are some of the other ideas? And then the STEM things.
But they're just in there.
So
You
they
know,
don't
they're
need like
just,
a time slot.
just so people know that's when we're doing a specific activity, but there'll be stuff set up most of the time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then do we plan anything on Thursday for?
Well, we
under the thing?
could if we could find something. I mean, maybe that'd be a good time for the little fiddlers,
Yeah, maybe.
you know, from 4 to 5 on Thursday or something.
And, would we be willing to pay Scout?
You know, I think back in the day, we used to give them like $50. You know,
Okay.
if they
What if we
performed.
just, what if we, in order to cut some costs, if we gave them a couple of tickets to the rodeo that night or something like that?
I
you
mean,
know.
I
I mean, you're looking.
mean, it doesn't bother me, except for we have to buy them. I mean, you know, we literally have to buy
Yeah,
them.
we will have to buy them.
Yeah.
but you wouldn't
Yeah.
save
It's not
us
like
$20
we're giving
But
to-
like if you buy a couple, 3 rodeo tickets for Scout and then a
Mhm.
rodeo ticket for each one of the drama
Exactly.
Yeah.
team members for that one evening, I mean,
Hmm.
it's still gonna be cheaper than $50 per
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
person.
Okay. I'll get hold of Mr. Balkin about the speech and Balkin.
Yeah.
I was trying to say it right too. Okay. And then, do you want to talk to the fiddlers?
Yeah, I can, and
Okay.
see if would be interested.
And I don't know, who knew something about the dancers? Jen and,
They're right across the street. I have
oh,
a few cousins, the kids are going over there. And I guess I kind of know the lady that's doing the studio, so
just ask her if she thinks they
Yeah.
would want to dance for a half an hour or something.
do like a,
Little routine.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it didn't last half an hour, that's fine
Well, they
too.
have a bunch of different age groups. you know,
Right.
like
So
it-
maybe they could do a couple different.
Each age group can go on there for like
Mhm.
10 minutes or so.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll get a hold of her.
Okay.
And then I don't know how to get a hold of Scout, but I guess, I'll figure that out too.
What grade is she in now?
Gosh, she's gonna be about a junior, isn't
She
she?
seems cold.
I think she was a senior this year.
I was gonna say, I don't think she's in Colton class.
Isn't
Yeah.
she?
I think because she ran cross country, I think she was one of the seniors.
Huh.
That's what I told them, yeah.
I lose track of them after they get over the.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you gonna do either the ones on the left, or did you?
Well, so the weed youth activity, I mean, maybe we can ask them like a Friday. I think there's gonna be a few, 2 to 4 o'clock, or maybe if it's speech and drama, do 2 o'clock. There should be 3 slots open on Friday afternoon. Maybe we can see if the weed and the Fish, Wildlife and Parks wants to come again.
I mean, it might entertain the kids. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking is something for something that engages them. I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
guess it depends on what their activity is. Or
Yeah, I don't know. All we can do is check, and heck, if we fill our slots, it's not a bad thing.
no, if there's something going on, it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that line for now? Okay. We'll go to 2021 fair book and schedule.
And I don't know if anybody had a chance to look through the fair book. I emailed it out to see if there was any changes. The superintendent had said something about some of the classes not matching up, Missy. And I went through fair entry and through the fair book, and there was like a couple that just had like something wrong. Like there's 2 cookies frosted instead of a cookies frosted and a cookies unfrosted on the fair entry. No, in the book it said both of them said frosted, and then the fair entry said one said frosted, one said unfrosted. And so I made some notes to go over with the superintendents in our next meeting, just to ask them little things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the plan is to have that out by May 1st. Is that
God,
Usually-
we really need to.
go? Okay.
I have not gone through the fair book, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
Jessica.
I didn't have time either.
And I guess one thing with the next thing with the sponsorship thing is
Mhm.
if we're getting sponsors, there's a due date that we need those fast. And I kind of talked to the superintendent about like April 20th, especially if May 1st is when the fair book needs to be done.
Yeah, because if they were gonna get like a business card put in
Yeah,
to the fair book, then,
so that, I think that's gonna be the hardest part, is giving us enough time to approach sponsors and for them to get back to us. And getting their ads into the fair book and then turning around and getting it printed and ready to be set out.
yeah.
And then the schedule, I don't know if you guys want to look through it. Lisa already pointed out a typo for me to fix, but,
Sorry.
no. And I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be right, because everywhere else it says it already, but.
Well, I really like the way you typed it up because it's way easier to read.
Yeah, I looked through some of the
When you put the
older
boxes and
fair
stuff,
books, and there was
oh.
something similar to this, and I was like, oh, that looks way better.
You don't even want to read it. It just goes,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh. Yeah.
And so the sponsorship letters, what you want to do tonight, Jessica, is determine what we're gonna charge, is that right? I see there's like the level A, level B, level
Yeah,
C,
and
but
so-
then there's also purple, blue, red, white.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
yeah, so I guess just kind of deciding, what we want to call the levels and what perks come in each one so that we can get this information out. Because we just like, I just looked at like Fall Fest and I looked at a bunch of different events and what kind of things come with their different sponsorship levels. And I just kind of wrote things out real quick, and then Missy went through and made some ideas too. And so, yeah, like I thought I was trying to find something clever to like name the levels, and so that's where I put the purple ribbon, blue ribbon, red ribbon, white ribbon. Since it kind of sounds like a fair.
I like that.
And so, but I guess we just got to decide if we want to do the levels, if we want to just do donations, what kind of perks we want to put into each package, and then the cost of each package.
yeah, I mean, we definitely,
I like the idea of the purple, blue, red, white.
Having the different levels of
I do
sponsorship.
too.
okay, so, but what do you guys think the numbers should be on them?
100, 75, 50, and 25.
So keep it pretty, kind of like the ads in the book, or,
I think so, unless we go higher. I mean, I don't know, we don't want to go too high.
well, I don't
but-
really want to go
Yeah,
too
You
high.
want to go too high and that's, yeah.
But I think it'd be easier for people to say, okay, it's $100, 75, 50, or 25 instead of 90. I don't know,
Yeah.
that's my own.
Yeah, and when I was coming up with those, I was looking like the parentheses was what I was figuring like our cost was.
Sure.
So like those signs, I called a few different places in Helena, and the signs that I was thinking of, they're ones that we have on the baseball fence,
Mhm.
and they're corrugated plastic with just like white, like a white sign, black logo, and they're $25 a piece for a 3 foot by 2 foot.
Mhm.
And so we didn't know, like, we were talking, we hung them maybe inside the 4-H building for the people who have those sign sponsors, because we don't want to do anything really around like the rodeo arena, because that's for like the rodeo sponsors.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then we can take them down, and I mean, I guess that technically if they're inside, we don't even have to do like a weather resistant type deal anyway. But I mean,
It's just that we'd have to take them down, because people decorate for other things in there, so they wouldn't be able to stay up, but.
Or we could hang them around the tent somehow, or I don't know, outside of the commercial building.
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways we could hang them.
But so the price on those signs is $25. And so like like the purple ribbon hat is the only one that I put the sign in. And then the other thing, like my ideas were like a concert package, like tickets, which concert tickets I don't think will really cost us because we're getting the money for them anyways, right? So we would just, but like a drink tokens would cost us unless we could get Rodeo to donate them. But, yeah. And then, I mean, but like putting their logo in the daily post, or the posters to advertise fair that are hung around town, like that doesn't cost us anything to have that. And the schedules that are printed daily and put out on the sandwich board, we can put, if they get that package, I guess, then they can have it on all 3 things, or just like the next level down, I just put logo in the fair book and the schedule.
Right.
And then the next one's fair book and schedule, but the last one's just the fair book. And then like social media, every once in a while we could put like their logo on our Facebook page. Thank you for this red ribbon sponsor. And then, Missy's, your ideas were pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of thinking that too, like the logos in the print materials, I was just thinking like a business card size.
Yeah.
No full pages, no.
No, huh?
I like your prices better, Missy.
Yeah, my 250.
But I think, like, the purple, I think you could put 100 and up or something, and open it up in case someone
Mhm.
want, and maybe the blue is,
Or could you call that one that's more than 100-year rosette? I
right,
realize because
yes,
that's
something
what
like
our-
that, that's
or
above
best of show.
100.
Best of show.
Yes.
That's what we call it, right?
Because
So
there might
101 would be a
business
rosette? You can't really,
No, but
No.
I think,
But if you did like say,
Maybe it's a $500 one, or, I don't know, I mean, something, I
Right,
don't know, but.
no,
what
you're
other-
right, Karen.
I like that idea, but what
250.
what would be a better perk to add?
yeah.
If we did like a 250, I mean, that's quite a bit, but some businesses, they like to sponsor things.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
their
they do.
priorities.
There are a lot
They
of-
do, so we don't want to take away the opportunity.
Mhm.
So like best
Maybe
of show,
they-
you would get everything with the purple ribbon plus what could we add?
Could they get a bigger sign?
Oh.
Put in a better place? Like as you go into the rodeo, or just a real visual bigger sign somewhere?
So a larger sign.
Mhm.
Like a 4x6, double the size.
yeah, probably.
Mhm.
I mean, they're more than double on the donation.
And prominent, I don't know what you want to say, a prominent hangage.
Maybe they get to
So,
get VIP seats at the concert. I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
They get
Oh,
to
like
come up.
special seating. Floor level seating. You could take some
I mean,
some
Padded seating.
livestock panels and make little squares down there.
Well, like, we get the concerts though where you have, they bring a recliner
right.
Yeah.
that you paid for dearly, but they bring like a
Yeah.
recliner or you
Yeah.
know, some sort of special chair. And that person, they actually had, in one place, they had them up like on a platform so that they were like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
level with the concert stage. And, I mean, you could do something,
Okay.
like that, or
Okay.
special seating.
so we're talking about this. What if we did best to show at 250, purple ribbon 150, blue ribbon 100, red ribbon 75, and white ribbon 50?
Okay.
Reset. So
Each-
250, 150,
Yes,
100, 75, 50.
yes.
Okay.
What do you think?
So
I don't know. That 25 allows a lot of these smaller businesses to
Okay.
donate, is why I kind of. I mean, it really doesn't cost us anything to put their little business
You could
card.
do the white as 25. It's not like we have to have a 50 or have to have a 75. You
Mhm.
could do 100,
50.
75, and then drop down to 25. I mean, it's not like it.
Mhm.
So you think keep the red at 75, Karen?
I bet they get a concert package.
Mhm. Okay, okay. And
I
I'll
mean,
leave
the
white at
25, really, all they're getting is advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
in a book that only how many
Right.
people are looking at.
And then some internet and social media advertising. So
for the best of show, and I mean, we could maybe bump up the concert package to 6 tickets, 6 tokens,
hmm
and 3 passes.
sure.
Because if it's a bigger business, they might
Yeah.
offer it to employees or.
But we don't really, well, we need parking passes though, concert parking passes?
well, we could have a special
Yeah, I
spot
think
for
it's
parking.
special-
Save their stuff, the closer, the
Because
nice
like we
and
have
close
some
ones.
handicap parking over there, but we could have that, right.
Because we
the
would know
front
ahead
row
of time
kind of
how
thing.
many we needed.
Mhm. Just for that night, we could do something near there.
don't know if I could word that differently, because I don't know, people are gonna be like, oh, you have to get a pass to park, is it gonna cost the park?
Right, right.
But if I worded it differently, where it just says like, to,
Preferential,
yeah, something like that.
something like that maybe.
That just makes it, like, nobody's paying to park, but you get to park up front.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Reserved parking spot or something.
Reserve, that's a good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think if we just bump up the show to do a concert package for 6 people?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6 and 3. Okay. And then the letter, so I'll fill out the levels on that. And then I did say, so I did put, we have the following options available for sponsorship this year. However, if you'd like to sponsor and or donate in any other way, please let us know.
Yeah, that sounded
Like
good.
if anybody is like, do you guys need prizes for STEM
Right.
activity, or, something like that.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
And then also, and I think from last year, there was like a donation form, where it was just like a blank form, like, I donate X amount.
Yeah, I think just.
Or goods too, like
Yeah.
people could
Mhm.
donate goods.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And so the recognition on the PA, I guess it's only in the, so it'll be in the purple and the best to show one. Will that, should we say during concerts, can we do that during the rodeo, or during the concert and during the, under the tent entertainment, we can, anybody who has, telling you?
What I would do is, I wouldn't tie us to, which, I mean, we could do it for sure in the roping barn and under the tent, but I don't know that I'd tie us
To the
to.
rodeo.
I always give them a printout of, I always give Larry the stuff.
Okay.
I just don't always get over there to be able to hear if it's actually announced all the time.
Okay.
He's usually really good about that, I mean, but we could definitely do it under the tent in the 4-H building, or in the roping barn, I mean.
Oh, okay. And then during the concert, we can have them.
Mhm.
Can we, I guess we can see how many signs we have. Is it something that we could maybe put the signs out on Wednesday?
Or during the
During the
concert,
concert,
During the
oh, yeah.
concert?
I mean, we could put those
Oh.
along the fence.
And
Well,
then we
yeah.
could,
and then move them.
and then move them, but,
Mhm.
or somewhere, or
Could even,
even,
maybe depending on how high the stage is or whatever, however many there are, we might be able
down in front,
to, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
just something
So
so
that
that,
the crowd is all looking at them.
right.
Or
Mhm.
somehow set them up in the arena next to the stage, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that would happen, but.
But we can see how many there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll kind of get this typed up. Do you guys want me to email it out to you?
Sure.
And then the hope for to have them on Monday for the superintendents to come pick up.
Mhm. Sure.
Okay.
And I have a list of past sponsored appetizers, sponsors, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if you wanted.
I found one on Josie's. I found
It was on Google Docs or whatever.
it was on, I think it was on the cruiser, or no, I think it was on the laptop.
Mhm.
Yeah, And so we did have the superintendents that did show up, we passed this around, and we added some.
Oh, good, oh, great,
Even
okay.
And the superintendents kind of marked if there's any people that they knew or had connections with of who they would take them around to. We asked them each to do like 3 or 4.
Okay, sure.
So I don't know if any of you guys want to do any of them. But if you do, you can look at this and initial which one you wanted to do.
Okay. I'll put Missy's initial on some.
She already signed up for some.
She can put.
Doing.
She put J.R.
I know it, I know
Can I look at it?
it. Okay. All right,
Okay.
cool. All right, we good on that?
I think so.
Okay. Great. Okay, thanks for all your input on this. I think we got it worked out. Okay, new business rentals.
Oh, we
Was,
kind of went over that
yeah,
already.
I was gonna say, we kind of went over that, but anything else that you wanted to say on that, Jessica? Or just,
So, can I?
yes,
So then, was the treasurer's office gonna let you know when that other invoice was paid?
Yeah.
Because what we've done is, I created an invoice on a rental for Department of Justice. And
okay,
they wanted to be able to pay with a credit card. So I emailed Jess and I said, is that even a possibility? Can we do that?
yeah,
And so
Mhm.
she did the check, and then so I created an invoice and emailed it to her, and so that she gave it to the treasurer's office, and they were gonna call there and
Okay.
do that. So,
Yeah, and Doug did call me, and I told him that we had sent an invoice over. I just don't know, there's so many people that work there, and they're all helping different people at different times, so it depends on who answers the phone.
sure.
And so, I guess if we want to do this more often, we probably maybe need to ask them, should we give them just to one person? So if anybody calls over the phone and they say, I need to pay a fairgrounds rental, just so that one person has their voice and they know. But his only question was which account to put it into, building rental or anything like that. And so, yeah, but we got to figure it out, and I think it costs.
Oh,
And
good,
so,
okay.
and he said, we can just put our total amount on the invoice and just let them know verbally that they have to pay the extra 3%. Because he was gonna charge them, I guess he kinda got confused, he was gonna charge them 27, and then charge 3% on the 27, so.
Okay.
Because it's a 3% fee to pay credit card over there, so.
right,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
And I
think,
had already put it on there because we had talked about it.
yeah, so I think if that's gonna be something we do more often, we just might have to fine tune the
Sure.
procedure a little bit, but I think
Absolutely.
it works just fine for them.
Okay,
okay,
thank
Right.
you.
okay. Superintendent meeting, did we discuss that already, or is it?
Yeah, we'll have another one April 6th
Okay,
at 4:45 in here.
okay. Livestock judge mileage.
Allison wanted me to add that. She said I think last year we had capped it, and so she was just wondering if that was our plan again this year. Our judge is coming from a lot closer this year. It's only, I think, 600 miles round trip, and last year was like 1,300 miles round trip, so I still think it'll be under that $500 cap that was even set last year,
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
I think the cap is fine.
that's like
Say that again,
I
Karen?
said I think the cap is fine.
yeah,
Because last year the
And we
livestock
can budget
paid-
accordingly.
yeah,
reimbursed us for whatever went over that,
Mhm.
and that I thought that should show up in our revenue report.
okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. All right, I know, another thing that we need to talk about, we'll have to do a new MOU for 2021 for the livestock barn with rodeo club and our lawnmower. So we'll have to renew that. So maybe at the next meeting, if Jessica, if you could, I think there's those
Should be on
documents
the
in,
computer.
on the computer.
Okay. And then also expectations. There's a fair word expectations, and I saw that they were signed. How often do those have to be signed? Is that a yearly, or is that per term, or?
Well, do you want me to give you my opinion on that?
I think it was supposed to be for the
Careful, the
term,
camera's
wasn't it?
going.
I think, what's that?
Careful, the camera's going.
Yeah. It could be for the term. I know previous fair manager thought that it was important to do that. But we all do the job. If we understand what we need to do, and you as fair manager are willing to help people if they need some help, because that's your job,
Yeah.
I don't really see the need for it.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that.
I just saw that they were in there at some point, and I was like, well, do we have to do those again? So,
There's nothing in our bylaws about it or anything.
not that we needing to be found, but it's certainly.
I mean, if something comes up and somebody has a question, we could look at it and review it, but
Okay.
personally, I don't think we need it, but maybe everybody else wants it, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if I'll get the minutes typed up tomorrow. I think my biggest thing is gonna be getting the sponsorship letter. And then I'll email that out to you guys, and I guess if you look at it real quick and make sure it looks okay, and then I can get an email out to all the superintendents to stop by and pick them up.
Okay,
We can start getting them out.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so my pictures.
Okay. So, and we want to have a meeting next month?
Do you think we just,
Probably better to help in
Especially
case
with the
Jeff needs
fundraiser.
help with
Fundraiser
the
and-
thing and the fundraiser,
yeah, the
yeah.
fundraiser? So, second Thursday, do we want to keep it on a fairly good routine? Because a lot
I
of the
think
other
so.
county boards are like that, and so
Yeah.
if we do that, then we know that we're gonna have the room.
I
Okay,
think so.
so that is, what is that?
It'd be April 8th.
And 7 o'clock is good for everybody?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Any other business for tonight? I know we went over an hour over.
Yeah, thanks for the 8 o'clock.
Well, I was shooting for it. I know certain people got a little windy.
Yeah. Jessica.
Missy.
I did not. Just
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.